Hey Jim, how's it going?
Hey Elaine, it's going really well. How about
Hey,
you?
so we're now live on our webinar. Looking to see if we have any folks to bring in. Looks like we've got some folks arriving.
Yep.
Excellent.
I see a handful of people in there.
Excellent. Well, great to see everybody. And Jim, thanks for joining me so much. Today we're going to be looking at a very fantastic house. And let me just get my screen share going on so we can start to talk about that house. Can you see my screen share, Jim?
I do. I see a presentation.
Or can you see the slides on the side
I
or just the presentation?
I see your framing, so if you can hit the presentation button, that might get rid of the framing.
There we go. How's that?
It's beautiful. There you go.
Good. Okay, well, I'm Elaine Boyd with Coldwell Banker West, and we're here to talk about a fantastic ocean view home in La Jolla, the Bird Rock area of La Jolla. It's spectacular, and we'll get to see that. And joining me today is Jim O'Donnell. Jim, thanks so much for being here and helping out. Want to introduce
Yeah.
yourself?
Yeah, my pleasure. Hi, everybody. This is Jim O'Donnell, as Elaine said, from Coldwell Banker West. Pleasure of helping Elaine today. I'll be monitoring the Q&A section of the webinar. So if you are joining us on the Zoom link, please feel free to type a question at any time during the Q&A, and I'll be monitoring that. And Elaine, if you don't mind, if I get a question that, while you're discussing the tour, I might stop and give that question live while we're on.
Please do. That would be great. And meanwhile, I lured people in by saying that we were going to have wine and cheese or wine and crackers. So I'm going to share my vino of the evening. I'm going to have white this evening since it is a warm day. And I am drinking Kono. I don't know if anyone knows this one. It's not, a super glamorous one, just sort of a daily drinker that I love from Trader Joe's. How about you?
I've got a red wine blend, which is my go-to wine lately, is red blends.
Very nice. Now, the rumor is that you're in Palm Springs and that's why you don't have a collared shirt on.
This is correct. When I left the house, I was so lucky. I was fortunate enough to take a listing on Friday before I left, and I was so worried about getting everything done. I forgot a few things home the drive out here, one of them being a collared shirt for these type of meetings. So you're getting Palm Springs casual this evening.
Nice. Well, Palm Springs casual works for us. So I'm going to go ahead and record our. Can you record our session this evening? Do you see the record button? Do you have those controls?
I believe it's already recording on Zoom. It looks like, because I'm getting
on the web. Perfect.
Recording. You might need to open up the links, if you want to record on other avenues.
Very good. All right. So do you still see my screen share? Because I lost mine.
I do. We still see your presentation.
Perfect. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and hop in. So this is gorgeous place, 5749 Dolphin Place. Been on the market a little while, and I think that the owners are very, very eager. So although it's listed at 2.99, I think that there's going to be an awfully good opportunity for getting it for a good bit less than that. I don't know exactly how much, of course, but they're definitely interested in moving along. And I wanted to talk about this house because when you go through and you see the photos, it just doesn't tell the story. So what we're going to do is, these days, because of COVID-19, the days of just walking into an open house, it's just different these days. And so what we like to do is just kind of go through and look at a few slides so we can kind of orient to the way the property is laid out. And then we move on to the Matterport video, and that's a 3D walkthrough. And it's kind of rocky. You'll see what I'm talking about, and I'll try to be careful driving so no one gets dizzy. Any questions so far that anyone has, Jim?
No, it looks like they are just anxious to get started here. So fire away.
Very good. Very good. Right. Well, I'm sharing this in conjunction with Mike Daniels of Rancho Coastal Properties in La Jolla. This is a 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath with, spectacular ocean views. It's right at the beach. And it's funny, you know, the La Jolla coastline there, you start getting north just a bit and the properties are going for 3 and even 4 times this amount when they sit right there on the coast like this. So that's why, you know, it always sounds funny to say, you know, it's a bargain, only $3 million. But it's all relative, right? I mean, if your neighbor is $12 million, then it is kind of a bargain. It's really awesome. But killer views, it's got a rooftop deck that's really, really nice. It's a kind of a Spanish modern architectural style, and you kind of see that. They really put some care into it. This is really a pretty new home. It was built only in 2009. It feels very new. So it's just kind of cool that they, you know, put that architectural detailing in it. It's got a chef's kitchen, real wood floors, and this little snippet that you see, the photo, that is from the rooftop deck looking down over the Bird Rock area. And here's another fantastic view. How about this area, Jim?
Yeah, it's incredible. I was listening to this, and I know you just teased us with that little picture, but, you know, super anxious to see the details of what you can show, because this is just, this is San Diego living. This is just what people move out to the West Coast for. So it's magnificent.
For sure. I like to call it the American Riviera. Santa Barbara likes to call their stretch of the coast the American Riviera, but I think it's us. But it's really spectacular. I think there was a raised hand. Did you see that, Jim?
I see right now.
I thought I saw a raised hand come through. Just want to make sure that people knew, if you do have a question, go ahead and type it into the Q&A rather than the chat.
Yeah. And again, I'm monitoring the Q&A, so I'll let you know if something comes in. Perfect.
All right. So looking here at can you see my mouse, Jim?
We do.
Okay, good. So looking here, this is La Jolla. So what you've got here, since it's more toward the southern part of La Jolla, you have 2 ways to get out. When you're in the more northern part, you just have the Torrey Pines Road, which is just the one. So this is kind of nice to have 2 ways to get out. And as you can see, it's really pretty central. It's about 12 miles from downtown and central to a lot of things. Here it is looking a little more closely. And what we see here is that while it fronts Dolphin Place, which, you know, there's these houses and then the water, it also, the rear of the property sits on Abalone Place. And that's going to be important here in just one second. So here it is from Dolphin, looking straight at it. You get to see the sort of Spanish vibe going on with the tile roof and some of the wrought iron work there. Little arches, and we'll see that going through.
It's funny. I was literally looking at the wrought iron, just that detail right when you said that. Those are the little things that I admire. Like when we look at homes and stuff like that, my eye is trained, and I think a lot of my colleagues, just to look for those little details. And it was just ironic. I was admiring that, and I'm like, that's what really could make the difference. And you'd mentioned it, so I thought that was great.
Right. So you have a trained eye, and you're noticing that. But a lot of times, we see things like that and say, I really like that house, and people don't always know why, and it's because of those neat little architectural details. It has style. If you notice this little cutouts right here, that architectural detailing there, that's the same curvature we'll see on the inside of the house. It's also the same curvature that is used in the beams that go across the central sanctuary in most of the California missions, particularly ours that we have here in San Diego. So I just think that's just the coolest thing. So what we saw there was the garage. This is from the back. It sits right on Abalone, so you pull right up to the garage. And so if you enter the home from the right, rather than from the front, which we saw a moment ago, you enter from the right here. And then this is how it looks as you approach the door. If you look left right there, you're looking at the side of the garage. Also some cute architectural detailing there with the saltillo tile. But this is how it looks as you're entering from the side. When you're entering, people really don't enter from the front. It's the kind of deal that if someone was knocking at your front door, you're gonna be like, who is it? Because you know that no one that you know would be entering from that way. So walking up the front, as you go in the front door, this is what you see. So again, for those of us who joined a little bit late, we'll go through the still shots first, just to kind of orient ourselves to the layout of the house and how it lives. And then we'll go through the 3D video. Any questions so far for us, Jim?
Well, actually, just a question just came in right now about the wood floors. Do we know those are real wood floors?
Yeah, they believe that it's birch, but it is real wood floors, and it's uniform throughout and looks really great. It's there's a lot of, and we'll see, there's a lot of detailing that they didn't cut corners when they put this thing together. But here, as you're standing, you've come just inside of the front door, and to your left is a little hallway and a staircase, a small staircase that goes up to a single bedroom. And then we've got another bedroom on this floor, but we'll see that more when we look at the walkthrough 3D video.
Great. And then
let me just wait. One other
question that just came in around just when you're walking up to that entrance that's private. That's a fence. So when you're walking up into the house, that is really pretty much a private entrance as you're walking up to the side of that house.
It's a very private entrance. You do have the one neighbor on the other side, but it has a really very private feel to it, for sure.
Great.
Here we see the kitchen. And again, as you walked in that door, this was kind of on the left. And then standing in the kitchen, we're looking toward the main floor at the living room area, little dining area, and a living room area. You know, one of the things with photos for these coastal properties, the views don't come through, but in all these windows, it just has great views of the ocean. So you're standing there in the kitchen, and you're looking out at the beach. Here we are again, looking back toward the kitchen, the little dining area. And then here we see the main floor again, main living space. And you can't see it in this photo, but just to the left here, that is where there's one fireplace or two fireplaces altogether. And here on the ceiling, we get to see those beams just exactly like you find them in the California missions. And those are just really add a lot of charm. And again, these windows looking out, views, and more views. So if you had gone just around the corner from that room we were just looking at, you get into this bedroom here. And if you're lying in bed in this bedroom, this is your view. It's Bird Rock. And it's so close that you smell that ocean air, and you can hear the waves crashing. The cliffs are right there on the rocks. And so it's really got that ocean sound.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be conflicted. I think this one is the money shot, but I have a feeling when I get to the patio on the top deck, I'm going to be conflicted between which is my favorite view of the home, because to wake up to that door open, I don't know that I would ever close those doors, just sleep with that, ocean air and the breeze and the noise. And it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's one of those ones where the picture doesn't tell the story. Here's another bedroom that we see. Also great big windows, very, very comfortable. A third bedroom. This one's downstairs. It's got some little French doors. Really great. This will all make a little more sense when we do the 3D walkthrough, because they're all sort of disjointed when we just saw the still shots. But this one is on the bottom floor. So it is 3 levels. And if you were coming from Dolphin Place and walking in the front door there, you're at the bottom level. So you don't really, this isn't really the level you live on. This is really the level that you play on, or that you would use for guest quarters. It also has a fireplace, as you can see, and a bar, and it also has a little theater, which we'll look. So this is quite something, really fun. It's got a cute decoration on the outside, and it's just extremely well done, the theater. And here on the side, we've got a hot tub, Can't have an ocean view without a hot tub. So there you go. Now here is the deck. And, you know, can I just tell you, it really doesn't tell the story. One of the things that you notice when people are really finding the house that they love is when they want to hang out. You know, it's ooh, we got to go to the next place, and they're like, no, like, let's hang out here a minute, and you can't get them out of there. And that happened to me on this rooftop. If you mentally delete this furniture, because that's not really what draws you in, it's the location, it's the orientation, it's the size of that rooftop deck. It's not too big, it's not too small. It would be lovely for a little soiree, perfect for an intimate visit as well. It is really something, and I didn't want to leave. It's birds everywhere, and the ocean breeze, and the smell of the briny air, and just everything. And never mind the fact that you're surrounded by really lovely homes. Yeah. So how about this view then, Jim? Which one do you prefer?
Things. You have a client, Lucy is on the line. So Lucy's watching. She wanted to say hello, and great job so far.
Oh, thank you, Lucy. Thanks so much.
And then just the way they have the furniture laid out here. I mean, of course, my eyes go right to the view and everything else, but I just like that you know, you have a dining area, you have a sitting area, and then you have a lounge area. It just kind of shows the size, you know, of this deck. Like, they just didn't squeeze one in. They really, I mean, it looks like they've used every square inch possible, you know, to build this outdoor space to just capture, you know, the location. And
yeah, it's fabulous. They did a great job. And so here's another picture from that deck, looking out at the beach and at the cliffs. It's fantastic. So let's move on to our 3D tour. And this thing can get a little wily, so I'll do my best to get us all oriented and get us on our walkthrough without looking like I'm drunk driving. So now the Matterport video wants to take us directly into the bottom floor, but you don't really enter that way. So
hey, excuse me, Elaine, we're still seeing you the red screen with the 3D tour. You might.
Oh, okay. So that happens sometimes. So let's see if I can do a different screen share.
And Elaine, while you are getting the 3D, we do have a question about the theater. Do you know if the theater chairs are included?
That has not come up, but in a situation like that, I mean, those sorts of things are always negotiable. Sometimes people just want to be rid of everything. Let's see. All right, tell me if you can see it now.
We do. We see the dollhouse view.
You can see it?
Yes, we do.
Fantastic. Okay. Okay.
Just all remember, right. you want to just enlarge your window on that one, because although we see it, it's a smaller window. So yep, perfect.
How's that? Okay, good. All right. So it wants to pop you into the bottom floor, but that's, as we talked about, that's not really how this house lives. So you kind of come in the house from this way. This is your front door. Again, with that Spanish contemporary look. It's got those beautiful wood doors. And what's nice is that they left those side lights with glass so that when you shut that door, you're not losing your light. You've still got some nice light when you come in. And so this is looking out. That's where we talked about before, coming in from the driveway. And if you walk in this way, you just step right in. If you look left, this is where you've got the 1 bedroom. And then if you go up one more, you've got that deck. And this is that main floor. And here's your little powder bath that you've got just right when you come in. And so coming over to the kitchen, there's our chef's kitchen. Very nice. It's got a Viking stove. It's got, you know, the pot filler, counter depth fridge, really nice, higher end cabinets. And then there's our dining area. And going over this way, we can start to make our way through the house. Here's that fireplace that we couldn't see in the pictures, but there it is. And here's one little view deck that we can come out to. Very, very nice. And then here's that bedroom, that one with that spectacular view. And so here it is. And now look, Jim, it's a sin. They shut your doors on you.
Yeah, I think it's a sin to me. I mean, I probably would just want those doors removed if I bought this place. And just open air concept.
Just pretend like you live in Hawaii.
Yeah.
You know, good size bathroom, especially for being right there at the beach. Nice. Decent size closet. And then coming back out, we just make our way back out here and back out here. And then we can go down and have a look at that first floor. So we just swoop down here. Stairs on these Matterport videos are kind of fun, I have to tell you the truth. So if you did come from Dolphin, from the street level, you would start at the first level. And here is, it's actually a bedroom. Of course, it's set up like an office. There's that one, right when you walk in. And here is a kind of like a little rumpus room, a little kind of party area. I like pointing out the stairs. It's such a good example of how they just really did not cut corners. They did some really pretty wrought iron that's again in keeping with that sort of Spanish theme. And I love this round off that they did on the bottom of those stairs. It's that broad stairs going narrower, and then the beautiful baseboard on the side there going up. Really, really nice. And here you got your little bar and your little hangout area. If you had kids and you wanted to let them make noise somewhere else, that might work also. Here again is that room, your little theater room, all set up for your very favorite films. And here was a cute little decoration I was talking about, the admit one and the little reel-to-reel. And then here's another bedroom. This was the one with the French doors going out, and its own little bathroom there. And that is the bottom floor. So let's go back up, and then let's see that bedroom that's kind of just off the front when you come in. So let's make our way back up there.
And Elaine, as you're going back up there, we do have a question about the dining room. Is there a formal dining room, or is it just the dining area off the kitchen?
It's a dining area off the kitchen. So this is a 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath home with 3,008 square feet. So it seems like they prioritized bedrooms over common area. I think also when you have a home like this, and obviously some thought went into the orientation of the views. So that's another thing that they really put a focus on when they design homes like this. So again, that's where we came in. We came in from the garage in the back of the house. So then if we turned left coming in, you've got this kind of short staircase, and then you come this way, and then you've got this bedroom. Nice little entryway, sweet little bedroom. And again, with the views, really, really cool.
And a sizable bedroom at that. I mean, you have that nice sitting space in front of it.
Yeah, especially for being at the beach. Absolutely. And so then here we see this is the one that takes us up to the view deck. So that is our walkthrough. Now going back, I think I need to do another screen share to get back to my slideshow. Can you see that, Jim?
Yep, we see your slideshow. We still see the framing around it. So if you
can
make that a full-size screen.
Take care of that.
Yep, there you go.
All right. Let me back out and get back to the slide that I was at. All righty, great. Perfect. Hey, this isn't wanting to, not wanting to cooperate with me. So bear with me while I go through these slides just one more time and we get to the point that we were at before we started the Matterport video. Okay, so here again is that your top of the world view. And, you know, I like to bring this in because when you've got that Spanish style, if you want to kind of go in there and start kind of putting your own touch on things, you really have some pretty good latitude. This, you've got these fountains as an example with the tile. This is a sort of Mexico City kind of vibe. You can go Pueblo style, you know, something in between, or even this, which is kind of a Moroccan style. It's actually lifted from the Alhambra in Spain, in southern Spain. I love that. Any one of these would go just great in that house, and you can kind of go crazy with that kind of genie bottle tile action. Couldn't resist coming back to this because this is just the most fabulous place ever. And I'd like to point out too, you know, La Jolla has so many neighborhoods, there's really so much variation, and the neighborhoods really are very, very distinct. And for people who know La Jolla, they know that. For those who don't, it's a fairly big region, and just really, there's a reason that people love it. Great restaurants, beautiful coast, the architecture is tremendous. There's, it's got a lot of history too. Beautiful old photos. It used to be a sort of a seaside getaway. You know, it was not so much residential until later. I mean, probably the 20s or 30s was when people really started to build there. But you know, people have been drawn there just forever. And here again, this shows you how close it is to Bird Rock and just how close to the water. I mean, you're just right there. I wanted to point this out also. I think that the nearby businesses tell a lot about a place. Oh, that was another reason I was pointing this out, is because you can start to see, you get the beach, you also get incredible walkability. You don't have to get in your car for much. Restaurants, you know, Starbucks, go get your nails done, all sorts of stuff right around there. It's fantastic. One of the really popular places is Beaumont's, and this just cracked me up. I was kind of looking around there and checking out their menu, and they had the dirty quarantini over here, and the don't you touch me combos, drink combos, and I just think that's fun. It says something about the neighborhood, and it says something about the place, but it gives you the vibe. It's just a really cool, good vibe sort of place. Any other questions from our guests so far, Jim?
You know, I just closed it and I'm going back to it right now. No, we're good. Keep going.
Okay. So, you know, we're in it's a new universe. You know, everyone's running around in masks, and you know, life as we know it is very, very different. So going into open houses is quite different. So that's why these kinds of walkthroughs are so important, that you can really understand the layout and the interior of a home before going in. And in fact, a lot of sellers are moving toward the style of making sure that you have seen the home on the inside, and a lot of times they want to make sure that you've got your financing lined up and want to make sure that you're really qualified to be able to get the house in order to come in, because they're being a little more restrictive for people coming in. And so there are new protocols, including we sign forms now that we say, you know, hey, I'm not sick, and that I agree to wear a mask and, you know, gloves and not touch anything. And that's kind of the new wave, you know, so the new way of things. And honestly, Jim, I think this method is here to stay, because sellers nobody likes having people come through their house, and it's especially good for people that are messy and they're like, oh no, another open house I don't want to pick up. So I think this style of open house is really here to stay.
Yeah, I completely agree. I know a lot of people are, I think we've adapted really well and we're giving people a great experience through these virtual open houses, but
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree. Now that we can give somebody the walkthrough, I mean, we could literally measure walls with some of the technology virtually, like if you're walking
Mm-hmm.
somebody through. So it just, the sellers, it gives them peace of mind that they don't have people coming through their home unless they are very serious, and when you schedule that appointment, you've already gone through the virtual process, the conversation. I think gives the sellers this tremendous peace of mind that when somebody does come through the house, it is a very legitimate potential buyer, and it's likely that an offer could happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're going to get used to this virtual process. So when we're ready to go back out on the market, we might get some pushback from the sellers to say, well, what can you do for me virtually? Because they kind of, gives them their privacy.
Right. And if you or I think about selling our own homes, I mean, isn't that so much nicer to have far fewer people coming through? And then when they do come through, they would be with somebody. They would just always be getting guided through with another person. It just really, it makes it different. And I really do think this style is here to stay. So it's been a lot of fun. Well, I'd like to thank you all for joining us. I would like to see if there's one last sweep on questions, that anybody has any questions before we dash.
All right, we do have one question as far as outdoor space. We saw the balconies, but is there any outdoor space other than the rooftop patio, or are there any other patios in the property?
Thank you. What a good question. Going back to the front of the house, there is a small yard, and I will go to that image. It's, if you had a little dog, for example, it would be just fine. So here it is. It's, this area here and here. So it's grassy, and you could easily put a fence up there if you were trying to, create a space for a small dog, for example. So yes, good question. Thank you.
Yeah, and I would also point out there's also the other patios. So it's not just the rooftop deck. I mean, you're looking at the picture that you have on the screen. You see the two patios. I mean, you have outdoor sitting space other than that rooftop deck as well.
That's right. Yeah, when you first walk in, that's a sitting area as well. It's quite a large patio. The walk up actually could double as a patio. It's large enough, and in fact, there's a little seating area as they have it set up now.
Nice.
Yeah. But I would like to thank you very much for joining us. If you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call or a text anytime if you want to talk about this house or just the market in general. There are plenty of houses. If $3 million is a little much, and it is for a lot of people, that's frankly, that is a smaller buyer pool. So if you just have questions in general, or you're looking for something more economical, there are certainly other options out there. Or if you are looking to list your own home and have questions, please do give me a call at any time. Would love to visit with you. All right. So thanks for joining us. And Jim, thank you so very kindly for looking at the question and answer and joining me for the look through on Dolphin.
Yeah, my pleasure. I mean, it's a beautiful home. So thank you for letting me help you.
Let's split it. Maybe we can get it together. 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bath. I think we can do it.
Yeah, I think we'd be arm wrestling though, because I know what bedroom I want, and we probably both want.
That's funny. All right, very good. Well, thank you so much, and thanks to everybody. Have a good evening, everyone.
Bye-bye.
So long.